Hi guys, my name is Harmeet Gaba, and today we're going to have a look at the Adobe's new Lightroom mobile app for iPad. That's what we have a look at, see how it works and see it in action. So join me and let's get started. Thank you. Okay, so let's have a look at Lightroom Mobile. The first thing you need to have is the latest version of Adobe Photoshop Lightroom. You need version 5.4. When you install version 5.4, you will see a little drop down menu appears here. So from here, all I need to do is sign in to my Creative Cloud membership. Once I've signed in, I can then start synchronizing photos, which then I can access them on my Lightroom Mobile. The one thing you'll see is if you have a little banner or something there that you've customized, it gets cut off. That's because you have show status and activity visible. So if I take that off, you can see the full banner, but then I won't see whether it's synchronizing files to Lightroom Mobile. So let's keep that on. The way Lightroom Mobile will work is you need to have collections. So here is a collection that I've created for the purpose of this video, and it has 22 images. These photos were pretty much taken today at a botanical garden, and I've just loaded a selection of those into this collection. Okay, none of these have been edited, so if I go into basic, you see these are raw images just straight out of the camera. So what we'll do is make sure that these get synchronized. So how do we do that? To do that, it's pretty straightforward. For any collection you have, you will see in the new version a little arrow icon here. When you click on that, it essentially marks that album to be synchronized with the cloud. And you see at the top there that Lightroom is synchronizing my photos. So this will upload all these photos and they will be available on my iPad. Okay, so here you see a preview of my Lightroom Mobile on my iPad. Let's open it. Sorry, I can't click on it with my mouse, which is meaningless. So let's launch Lightroom Mobile. So at the moment you see it says there are no photos to be synced, but you see now it's starting to download and synchronize photos in my collection. In the background, Lightroom is uploading them and this Lightroom Mobile is downloading them. So we'll have to give this a minute as the photos upload and then sync back to Lightroom Mobile. I will pause and then come back as soon as the photos are downloaded. Okay, Lightroom Mobile can now see 22 photos that have synchronized from my collection here. It has 22 photos and the Lightroom Mobile is also showing us 22 photos. So in this collection we just tap on it to go to the images, and you can see that I have all my images here. If I scroll through, it's still loading some of those. There we go. Now what I do find is that sometimes it is a bit laggy to response. Might be a bit more laggy on the recording. So let's open one image. There we go. You can see that. Tap back, go back to the grid view. So if you tap on this with two fingers, you get additional metadata coming through. Tap again, you see the shutter speed, the aperture, and the ISO that you shot at. Tap again with two fingers, now you see the date and time when these photos were taken, and also the file names. Tap again, and you just cycle through. So two finger tap to get the metadata, one finger tap to go into the image. Now here, what you see at the bottom, there's three or 4 different icons. One gives you the Filmstrip View, which we're familiar in Lightroom. The second one gives us the Develop module components, so the basic panel in Develop module. So we have all the settings. We have exposure, contrast, highlight, shadows, whites, blacks, clarity. So we'll have a look at those. You also have access to some of the pre-built filters in Lightroom, which are also available in Lightroom Mobile. I don't think you can import your own filters, but hopefully that will be an upcoming feature. We can crop the image, 16:9 ratio, move the image around, and just tap. If you tap on there, double tap, and the image is resized. Okay. Now let's go back to our Filmstrip view. Let's review these images. This one I like, so I'll play it as a reject or a pick. So I will pick this one, go to the next one. I will reject this one, so I just swipe down to reject. This one, pick. Next one, don't really like it, so reject, and so on. So I can swipe through. Definitely a pick. Oh, reject, unflag. So if you swipe down, you selected reject incorrectly, swipe up again, and you get to the unflagged state. Swipe up, it's a pick. Pick. This one's my favorite, so I'll pick this one for sure. And so we can swipe through and move through all the images. Once this is done, let's start developing some of these pictures. So let's go to this one, the one I like. I'm going to go there, click on that, and now I have my white balance as shot, tint, so I want to adjust that. I can auto tone. There we go, auto tone off. What I'll do is I'll adjust the exposure. So when I click on exposure, I can tweak the exposure, slide this way, and the image becomes brighter. Slide it back that way, and the image becomes darker. Okay, so similar to Lightroom, but here I'm using my fingers on the iPad. So I'm going to increase the exposure a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. Contrast, I usually do that at the end. Next thing I like to do is adjust the whites and blacks. In Lightroom, you can hold the Alt key or the Option key, which allows you to see the white point. On Lightroom Mobile, you double tap, so 2 fingers, tap and slide, and you see it starts to bring the white point in the picture. So I'll drag it around there, move it slightly back, and I'll leave that here. So we have a white point, and similarly we can add a black point into the image. 2 fingers, you start to slide down, and you can see I'm starting to get some blacks in there. Keep going a little bit. Yeah, that's fine. There we go. Go to my shadows, swipe across, and increase the shadows. Alright. Let's now go to the highlights. Although there aren't any highlights that are being clipped, we can see in the histogram, but the white point here I'm going to adjust. So bring that down a little bit. Highlights, highlights, and okay, I'm happy with that. Add some clarity. This picture demands clarity, so add some clarity in there, and should give it some punch. Move across, add some vibrance as well, make the greens pop out. Yeah, sometimes it's a little laggy. I don't know how easy it is to see the effect on the screen, but it's maybe my iPad that's a little slow. Swipe back. Let's add some contrast. Alright. So now if I want to see the before and after, I can 3-finger tap. Yeah, see, I forgot that. It's a 3-finger tap. You get the before and after. Before, after. Okay, so you can see that. That's about it. So you have the basic settings. Now, if I go to the next image, as we do in Lightroom, we can apply the exact previous settings using the previous button. So we have that here, of course, when Lightroom wants to do this for me. Come on. Okay, there we are. It's there. So I can click on previous, and it says basic tones or everything. Well, everything would mean any cropping, rotation, all the other components. So I'll say everything. And suddenly this image pops out like the previous one. Easy. 3-finger tap. See the before. Release to see the after. Nice. Moving on. This one here. Let's do the same result on this. Previous. Alright, Lightroom. Catch up. Previous. Everything. Okay, this one's a little bit dark, so I will go and adjust the whites. Drag that across. Again, 2 fingers. 2 fingers on the slider. Bring that across. Nope. Try again. 2 fingers on the slider. Yeah, there's no white point, so keep dragging that across till we see something white. There we go. Just pull it back a bit. Let go. Yeah, looks better. Fantastic. So that's pretty much it. I can go and try some effects. Let's try a color effect. Cross processed yesteryear. There we go. So before, after. Before, after. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it. Once you're done, all the settings should be syncing back. You'll see this icon pop up here on the right side when you make a change to any of the images. So let's do that one quickly. See that one hovering over there? It's syncing settings, preparing images for development. You can have a sync now functionality. If there's a lot of photos that are pending sync, you can force it to sync right away. Otherwise, you can wait for Lightroom Mobile to do that automatically. Let's go to light exposure, increase the exposure. That's good. We'll break the rule, do the contrast first, and wow, look at that! The yellow just pops at you. Love it. Go to the blacks, bring that down a bit. Now I'm watching the histogram to see if I've set a black point. White, let's use 2 fingers. Drag it across too much. Bring it back. Bring it back. There we go. I'll leave it there. And clarity will be good for this image. So let's increase the clarity big time. There. 3-finger tap. Before. And after. Okay, that's pretty much it. Move back to the image. Now let's see. These are the results. So we can see the images are updating. Let's have a look at Lightroom, because it's supposedly syncing them back to Lightroom. So let's switch over to Lightroom. You can see my Lightroom on the desktop is synchronizing to photos. Okay, so Lightroom has finished syncing all the images. This is the last one we edited, the yellow flower. You can see all the settings have come through and the images are visible, the before and after comparison. So that was before, this is after, looks good. Let's have a look at this one. So that was the little bench, looks nice, before and after, done. So this one had the same settings applied. So you can see it inherits everything from the previous image, and that's done. And this was the one with the yesteryear preset. So it's pretty cool to have all of this capability on Lightroom and be able to edit all those pictures on the iPad. And I'm sure Adobe will be adding new features to this Lightroom Mobile app. Alright, hope you like this video. Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos related to photography and editing. My name is Hermit Gaba. Thank you.